Okay, today we're working on a LPG system, liquid propane gas. It's a 1988 C70 Chevy truck. The big fuel tank on the back here has a propane in it. And come up to the front here, and this is the fuel lock-off that I took apart and rebuilt yesterday. It's got a vacuum port on the top, and I put my vacuum gauge on, my little vacuum gauge on there, and pumped it up, and I couldn't get any vacuum, so I pulled it apart, and the diaphragm on this side had a big hole ripped in it, so it wasn't allowing the fuel to come into it properly. On this side it's got a nice big filter in it, and the filter wasn't doing its job either. The liquid line from the tank hooks onto here, and this hooks into the regulator, which is this round piece here. It's a two-stage regulator. It has water, heated antifreeze, or water running from the engine to vaporize the fuel inside. It's called a vaporizer or vaporizer regulator. And it's got two stages of gas in it. The first stage is 2 to 3 psi, and the second stage is it's measured in water column. It's supposed to be 1 to 2 inches of water column, and that is the pressure of vapor gas that goes, oops, nice one, goes into the engine through this dry hose, and it goes into the mixer, which is underneath the air cleaner. It's basically where your carburetor used to sit. It meters out the fuel with the air into the engine to help it run. But today what we're going to do is make a manometer, and we're going to measure the amount of fuel pressure available to the engine. So that's measuring the secondary stage, or the last stage of the vaporizer. And we're going to set it up now and hook up the fuel lock off and set her up and let her go. Okay, because I dropped the fuel lock off, filter fuel lock in the dirt, I hooked up the propane line to the inlet side of the fuel lock off, and I'm going to hook vacuum with my vacuum gauge here to the vacuum port that the engine sends vacuum to energize it. And notice it's got full tank pressure on it now, and it's not leaking, so my real beam must be good. So I'm going to give it a little air. Remember, it's liquid propane coming from the tank to there, and it vaporizes at minus 44 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe it is. So you don't want to get burned by this. So I'm going to just give it a crack and blow that line out, and let's see what happens here. I should have blown the line out. I'll just let it dissipate there. There. The line is flushed. Take that off. Okay, I pulled the low pressure side plug out of the evaporator there, and that's going to measure my 1 to 2 inches of water column. And I hooked a plastic hose to it, and I'm going to fill this hose up a little bit with water, a little bit of green food coloring so we'll know what's there, and then we'll start the engine and get a reading on it. Okay, I'm going to give an attempt to fill this hose and put some coloring in it. It's kind of a tricky thing to do. Let's see if I can see what's going on here. Pour some water in the hose. Some food coloring there so we know where the water is. A few drops. Nice green stuff. Have to work it in there so we can mixed up with the water. Oh, it's starting to turn color all the way through. Where's the other end? We can see it now. Just let that food coloring work its way through. Okay, and there we have it, people. There's your manometer. So all we're going to do is a little bit of vacuum on there right now. I should disconnect this hose, let that all out. It should be the same, right, when it regulates. Figure out where I can stick this so I can go start the engine and I can watch this. Okay, I will go start the engine, and then we'll observe these two heights here, and it should be about between 1 and 2 inches as it's running. Have it. There's your manometer. About just over 1 inch of water column. So you can see that there. And it should hold that through all RPMs, through all engine loads. And now you know that you have a certain amount of gas pressure at your mixer. There you have it, a simple manometer. Measure your water column. You can use that on all propane systems. You can use it on your barbecue. You can use it on your natural gas barbecue, your propane barbecue. You can use it on your gas-fired water tank. Anything with propane or natural gas. That's one way to check your water column or your pressure on your secondary side. There you have it.